Alright, welcome back everybody. We're playing some more Cities Skylines here. And something really awesome is about to happen here because I think we're coming up on a very important population marker. Really important milestone that we're working on here. City's coming along great though. All these Sims that are bustling around, going about their lives, many of them going to school. That's one of the things that we really want to happen, is get our population more educated. Much more educated, because that seems to be blocking us a bit as well. Not really detecting any levels of traffic anywhere either. We did, I think one of the things that we did recently was we set up some new bus lines. So it will be kind of nice to... Oh yeah, here we go. 90 people a week. Here we go. Here we go. We'll hit that marker here any second now. 94%. I think we've lost 1%, or we've been at 94. I think maybe we've been at 94. So if we look at the public transportation, I'm curious, are Sims using these routes? Yes, in a big way. Wow. Look at that usage right there. It's saying car trip saves 7%. This number is kind of goofy. Sometimes it'll say like 80%, sometimes it'll say 7. I mean, it's saying 7%, but look, the route's getting well used. So how is it not saving more car trips than this? I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. Route's getting used, that's all I care about. So in fact, it's getting used to the point where, depending on how many people... Yeah, there's still 30 people waiting here. We need more buses. We need more buses. Like heck, maybe we could even go up to 5 buses on this. Yeah, that's nuts. That's a really nice bus route right there. So this is the teal one that is ultimately dropping people off. Ooh, yellow looks like it's getting used too. So it's collecting people in the residential zone and taking them to the commercial zone. Makes sense. So public transportation, of course, is very strong when it takes people from one type of zone to another. Because typically, the Sims don't actually need to get around. Like this Sim doesn't need to go visit this Sim. They don't, as far as I understand, they don't actually visit each other for get-togethers and things like that. They do need to go to shops and they do need to go to work. This one is not getting as much usage as I would like. This is one of the... and this is probably also cannibalizing the green line a bit, isn't it? It is. This is a situation where we might just straight up... We might add a stop to the green. And actually remove, so we can go in, we can actually add stops to existing lines. What we have to do is we go in, we're going to build a new line with the bus line. And we're just going to sort of grab it and bend it into the side of the road there. Okay, here we go. Big town. This is a very important milestone. Very important. It changes things up quite a bit. We get a bunch of new policies here that mostly seem to have to do with raising and lowering taxes. We're not too worried about that, actually, because we've already set our taxes using the budget screen. We get a new buildable area, but we're still using the one that we started with for the most part. Here we go. New types of zoning. High-density residential, high-density commercial, and office zoning. Very cool. And we can build metro systems and the incinerators and universities to get the most educated Sims to work in these office zones. Very cool. That's going to be huge. We're going to have to start planning out sort of like maybe like a downtown area or something like that. This high density. So what I'm realizing is if we have green connected here and here, we might not even need this stop. It makes them happy. Let's leave the stop. But what I'm wondering is, can we actually get them another stop over here, maybe? The purple's already picking them up like that. Again, we're looking and we're seeing that no one's using the blue lane. No one's using the blue lane. And it's cannibalizing the effectiveness of the green lane because basically they're doing the same thing. Let's just delete this line. Did I say lane? I meant line. Sorry, guys. But if we're going to delete that, maybe we can expand the green. But maybe we can actually go in here, grab it. We can sort of grab onto it. Maybe we can sort of somewhere that it's not too much of a problem here. Okay, so now we can collect people over here, and we can collect them over here, which is also making me think now. Let's move that over so these two areas are separate. So now we have this area getting collected, we have this area getting collected, and they're all going to be moving to the industrial zone. I feel like we're going to get a lot of usage on that line now. In fact, with those adjustments, just turn off the music for a second. Sorry guys, that I don't know what to do about that one song that just feels like it deserves to be so much louder than all the others. I'm tempted to actually increase the budget here again and just get a few more buses on the route. A few more buses on the route while we're anticipating this to get a bit more usage here as the Sims sort of reshuffle around a little bit. Okay, that looks good. We'll let that kind of go for a bit, and that'll be good. Okay, so now we have. So offices actually count as industry. They're an alternative to industry. Now, offices don't produce goods. Offices actually are, and they're highly educated jobs. Highly educated jobs don't produce goods. So they satisfy the Sims' need for jobs, right? But they don't create the traffic that's created from the industrial areas because they're not actually producing like trucks that are delivering things around. But then again, they don't feed into the commercial areas. They're purely just for making the Sims have jobs, which is important. Important that the Sims have jobs. But let's actually go in. The nice thing about offices too is they're also quiet. Commercial is loud, offices are quiet. So we can actually come in here. What I like to do is actually have a buffer zone between residential and commercial. I like to have an office buffer zone. Let's just get a few offices. The truth is we're not going to have the education base right now to support. Sorry guys, we're going to have to just turn down the a bit here. It's a little crazy. We're not going to have the education system to support the offices themselves quite yet. Not, at least not for mass offices. So let's just build a few. We have some educated people, I'm sure. How are we looking on education, actually? I mean, people are slowly getting educated. We have almost no university students, though. The problem with the university is, if we look at this, we're making... How did we start making all this money? We're making $9,000 a week. We could actually afford a university, which would be kind of cool. We could definitely afford a university. We need more housing, too. Okay, the demands are starting to get a little insane. Let's get a road set up. You know what? Maybe this is going to be a bigger road. Let's get some high-density residential. Let's get our population up, because this is where the game kind of takes off. Now that we can build high density. Let's kind of see what those are all about. And again, for whatever reason, I'm just feeling inspired to kind of mimic this round. We kind of have these quarter circles coming out here, these pieces of watermelon or pizza or something coming out here, and I'm just kind of feeling inspired to follow along with that. Although that doesn't actually look as good as I was hoping. The other thing that's going to be tricky is now, you know, we do have the freeway there that we're probably not going to be able to build that tight. Because that freeway is going to need to continue. It probably will, eventually we'll want it to bend off. Yeah, we'll probably want it to bend off here. But it's going to need some room to actually do that. Let's go in here. Let's get down our first. We have a lot of demand for residential. Let's get this high. high density residential down. In fact, it kind of looks like we're making... Oops, let's go back to the straight road tool instead of curved. There we go. This might look kind of nice, right? We have curved, angled parallel lines here, and then if we go straight here, it's going to kind of look like those roads are continuing. It's like, but they're parallel here, they're parallel here. I don't know, it just kind of looks kind of nice. Just kind of looks kind of nice. Maybe we could move this so that it fits there and it fills the space a bit more. There we go. That looks really good. Looks really good. We need to get water into it. Wow, this is actually... It's almost kind of hectic now, right? Because now we got so many things that I feel like we need to build. And the demand bars down below, right? Our demand for all these things are going up all of a sudden. And our landfill is full. Okay, so we need incinerators. We need incinerators. Oh, we have a second landfill. Good, good. Now I'm wondering, is our water getting polluted? Which is fine because it's already getting polluted here, but I'd rather not pollute it too much. Incinerators do put out a lot of pollution. The cool thing here is we can actually, now that this landfill is filled, right, we have a second landfill and we have incinerators, which the incinerators not only destroy the garbage that they take in, they have a certain amount that they can process per week. They also do just send out garbage trucks. So they have capacity to send out 27 garbage trucks where their landfill only is 15. But really, the incinerator is just better. It's better. It gets rid of the garbage. But it's more expensive, right? How much do we just pay for this thing? 30,000 simoleons compared to 4,000. And there's literally 1,400 a week compared to the measly 160 a week. So it's quite a bit more expensive to have these, but of course our economy is doing fantastically. We can easily afford that. I'm wondering, do we want to come in with a university here? Oh, how cool would it be if the university could fit in the same area as the park? You know what? We might have to redo everything to make sure that that's the case. Let's get a road in here such that the university will fit. This will be just trial and error. It looks like it's about 2 squares off to me. I'm just eyeballing it. So I don't know, maybe we'll try to sort of build it here. Although I think we've moved it more than 2 squares. That'll look fine. Whoops. At the last second, I just got crooked in a weird way. Okay. That looks really nice, actually. Kind of a nice little area. We could even put some trees here. Actually, there's a few cool things that we can do here. Let's go in with the, so we're over at the landscaping. This is just sort of like the beautification decorating. But here you can actually build pavement pathways. These are for pedestrians to walk along. So I like, whenever I'm building a pedestrian pathway, I like to turn off the snapping. Why are you not liking this? There we go. So in a way, in a sort of a thematic way, we've connected the park to the university. This space is already occupied, but you should be able to build, just like we built from there, you should be able to build. Is it an angling issue? Let's just build here and see. Nah, game's kind of finicky. You should be able to connect this, but the game's not wanting us to do so. That's unfortunate. What if we kind of do like a curve? Nope. Yep, game doesn't want us to do this. At least we connected the path here, and we could, you know, go like this. Although now these don't look connected. Eh, it's fine. Let's go back in with those trees that we said we wanted to do. Nice conifers here. Doesn't have to be exact. Props can kind of sneak into very tight areas. As you can see, it's sort of flashing. There's like, there you go. I don't know. It's something. It looks kind of nice. That's one thing that, you know, a lot of people will enjoy doing or not doing, you know, is sort of decorating the city. And you can do that there's a lot of potential for being able to do that. You can make the cities look very nice. I'm not very good at that, but there's also, of course, one of the cool things about the DLCs that this game adds is they very much feed into that idea of decorating your city. And I know that we're building, let's turn the snapping back on. I know that we're building roads that are four-way intersections, and we talked about how that's not ideal. But I'm not expecting this area to be that much traffic. Getting inspired here. I kind of like that. I like that. I don't know, do we keep that or not? Yeah, I kind of like this. I like where this is going. I like how our neighborhood's coming along. Now, I'm kind of actually, here's the funny thing. I think I've made a mistake here. Well, there are no mistakes, right? There's only happy accidents. But I think, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of, I think it'd be more interesting actually if this was commercial. I think it'd be more interesting if this was commercial. So, you know, no big deal. We have tons of money. We can do whatever we like. We've lost a bunch of money because we did build the university, right? Let's get rid of these homes. Those Sims will find a new place to live. Let's go in with high density commercial. At least for a good chunk of it here. Maybe again we'll save some of this room for offices just as a buffer, a noise and traffic buffer. But let's move our high density residential around the university. Speaking of which, do we need the other kinds of education over here? Well, we technically have enough capacity in our elementary schools, but we're going to eventually need another high school. So our office is coming along. We're building some offices. They require highly educated citizens, which we do not have any yet. Sometimes highly educated citizens can actually just move into your town. By having jobs that require highly educated citizens, we're actually going to get people immigrating into our town with college degrees. So we don't actually have to... Sometimes you build it and they will come, you know what I mean? You don't have to actually get everyone through the local university. mean, heck, we only have 100 people that are actually even eligible to go to university. Actually, that's not true. We have 450, but why are we... We might not have enough jobs to encourage people to actually go. Again, we might need to make more jobs to encourage people to go through the system, the educational system. How are we looking on fire? Definitely going to need another fire department. Looks like a pretty good spot for it. This is where, you know, our nice little profit margin here is going to be decreased. Oh yeah, whoop. Yeah, we definitely need another. That almost fits. That almost fits. It fits there really nicely. That's just such a nice fit. I think we're going to have to build it there. And it'll look good next. So we got the park, the cemetery, and the university. This is kind of a nice little area. These might be the little dorms for the university. You know, we can imagine it as whatever we want. Whatever we want. So the high density commercial is coming into play now. And just like offices and such, this is going to require more educated people. Not as educated as the offices, of course, but right off the bat, we need educated and well-educated people to work in these high-density commercials areas. Whereas, of course, with the low density, we really didn't need educated people at all. In fact, at level 1, it was all uneducated. That was the only requirement, was uneducated people. Did we water all this? Yes, we did. How is power looking, actually? It's been a while since we've... Oh, we're right on that line for power. We could actually invest in something a little bit more substantial here. The weird thing is these are actually kind of economical. It's only 200 a week for 20 megawatts of power. It's hard to beat that. Really hard to beat that. I don't think they look too bad. It's nice that they don't pollute either. But we've already sort of like, we have to be at peace with the fact that we are polluting the area. So now that we have high density, our traffic system is going to be strained. Is very much going to be strained here. We're at 93, so it is dropping. High density zoning means just more people in a smaller area. More trucks, more delivery trucks, more traffic to and from, more people working at these sites. Like in these areas, of course, many more people living in these buildings. So, there will be a strain on traffic. Eventually. Right now, we're just kind of hanging out. We are growing our population. And at this point, I mean, we kind of have all of the tools available to us. You know, we're going to continue to unlock some really nice things like crematoriums. We're going to continue to unlock different kinds of public transportation, trains, which are a big deal, ships, planes, so on and so forth. But we're actually kind of getting to the point where we have a lot of the basic components for sort of designing our city. Of course, we can build freeways. We can build, I think, all the different road types at this point should be unlocked. We have all the roads available to us, which is nice. Building is emptying. Okay, that's we know about that. We specifically told it to empty. Now, I'm kind of thinking it might be time to expand the highway. Or at least just kind of get it going here and making sure that it's sort of in the place that it will be, I guess, if that makes sense. So that we can kind of like safely build around it. We know what it's going to be doing. You know what? Actually, I changed my mind. I said it was going to curve. I think it will curve, but I think it's going to go straight for a bit more. Of course, this here is going the wrong way, so we gotta flip it. But it's easier to build from this point. Even if you're building the wrong way, it's easier to build from there and make sure it's straight. and then just, you know, adjust it back to the way you need. Always build it the way that's going to give you the right. Yeah, so I'm thinking if we want it to kind of curve so that it could touch down here, right? So they can kind of go to this section in the future. So one thing we could do, actually, one way that we could build that is we could sort of say, okay, let's put down a road here using the straight road tool. Kind of aim it at where we want this to go, you know, the line that we want this to take. You know, we just gotta, it's never gonna be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Now that we have that, in fact, this might be a situation to use the curved road tool. No. Changing my mind. I like the freeform tool for pretty much all things. It's not perfect, but, you know, it's not bad. So we just got to come in here and make sure that it's going in the right direction for all these. There we go. All right, so now we have it sort of like going off to where it needs to go in the future. Now we could also create a system here for getting people off the freeway and having them pour into our residential zone here. We are going to be getting traffic through this as we continue to grow out the commercial offices and so on and so forth. Kind of wondering here, what's the next road going to look like? Is it just going to, is it going to actually go out wide like this? Or are we going to try to conserve more space? I mean, this I think would look good, but that's a lot of empty space. A lot of empty space. Whereas if we did something like that, there wouldn't really be any empty space. Like there'd be none in that case. I'm not sure where these roads are going, to be honest. Maybe this one could literally just kind of follow the freeway. I'm gonna create like a boundary. I'm just kind of, you know, I'm just making some roads. I'm not sure what they're ultimately going to be doing. Heck, some of these are probably going to have to get destroyed if when we create a system for getting people on and off. I'm just wondering. Let's think about that for a second. Let's get people off and on this thing. Of course, one of the classic ways would be, let's say, maybe we need a roundabout or something. Maybe this needs to all come off into a roundabout here. People get off, right? And people get on. A little crazy. This is nice because people, of course, are getting off and then people are getting on. The ons and the offs are not conflicting with each other, right? This is not liking that. That's better to me. That's much nicer. Okay, and then we could have, of course, on or off, sorry. First is off. on. Let's actually get rid of this road. Oh, we could have it. We could have these tunnel, right? We could have these tunnel. Okay. Kind of doing some, interesting things here. Oh, it's so close. There's a little pillar there that it doesn't like. Maybe we can adjust this. Maybe we could swoop this through. There we go. Nice. Not bad. Not bad. So let's create like that round that we were thinking of. One way. Proper roundabout. Let's make it pretty large. Pretty large. I feel like roundabouts tend to be a little bit stronger. Bigger they are, and we're just eyeballing this. And the game's going to try to do its best to help us here. But as you can see, it's not... The game tries to get you to do some weird things. This isn't too bad. We're kind of... Funny thing is we're neglecting our city, but this is kind of what the game develops into, right? You just start working on little projects. Technically, we have high residential demand. So we can just sort of fill in more, get more residential areas. Maybe we won't do that right along the road there. Maybe that'll be offices for that buffer we were talking about. Ooh, we got a lot of commercial demand here. Okay, so the offs. These are the two offs, these are the two ons. I'll have to think about... People are traveling around this thing. It looks like it's defaulted clockwise. We want them to get off before they get on. So if we connect it into here, we want this going the other direction. I think definitely for sure. We've kind of included that. Want this going the other direction. So in this case, let's delete some of this because we'll probably want to build out to there. But it's nice knowing that we have, like, the main tunnel start is already formed, right? Because that was the tricky part that was kind of giving us some issues. And it's just trial and error. Just trial and error getting these roads to hook up the way that we want here. There's a little jagged edge there, but you know, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. In fact, as interesting as this looked originally, the angling here is not right now. There we go. The people that are trying to get off are swerving, and they're going around this thing, and they're getting off here, and then the people that are getting on be hooking into here. Ooh, that'd be so nice if that let us build there, but it won't. That's not too bad. Not bad at all. Alrighty. One thing we could have done differently is we could have actually had these connect to each other and then just had one connection to the main loop. But I think this is going to be okay. In fact, 2 of these won't even be getting used for a while, right? Until we actually build out here. 2 of them will not have a use. So over here, though, is where this is going to need to connect with the rest of the city. And maybe we'll have no more than 3 connections. Now here's something to consider, though. Oh no, it's going to work perfectly. It's going to work perfectly. In fact, yeah, let's just do straight lines here. Let's do all straight lines, no curves. Let's do 3, sort of in like a, I don't know. Okay. I like it. It's not exact, but I like it. Maybe we move this just a bit. That looked like that was a little off. Is that better? Maybe? This kind of looks like Lady Liberty or something, you know? I don't know. Don't know. Somebody wearing a crown or something. Okay. So now that we have these roads here, we can kind of begin to play around with... These, I believe, at the moment are 1 unit. Let's go out a little bit more. Like a couple squares more. That's already connected. Now we can actually do... Again, we can emulate this circle. Okay, this is going to look kind of neat. This is going to look kind of neat. What did we just make here? I don't know, but it looks awesome. Alright guys, I don't want this episode to be too long. We got carried away there, but that's what the joy of this game is, right? Just getting a little bit of inspiration. Look at how much zoning we have. I mean, it's like the city is in full swing here. We're making 8,000 simoleons a week. 8,000 simoleons a week. We have passion projects that we're working on. We're filling out the rest of this area. We've only been working in the original square, which actually happens to be like 30% water anyways. The city is coming along fantastically. It's looking great. We have means for expansion and ideas for expansion. So thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. We need to take a pause in this episode, and we'll be back in the next one. Thank you, guys.